What's going on, everyone? Thanks so much for joining me today. This video is video 1 in a series which I'm going to be covering magazines for the AR. So without further ado, let's get started. There are different types of magazines. You have steel, polymer, and aluminum. All have pros and all have cons, which I will be going over in later videos. This video I'm going to be covering technical inspection of the magazines. Now, the purpose of doing a technical inspection is to increase your chance of having a reliable magazine. However, after you do a technical inspection, you still need to test fire your magazine. So one of the first things that I do is I label the magazines. At the bare minimum, you need to number them, but it wouldn't hurt if you initial your magazines. So what that does is it makes your magazines distinctive from others. If you go to a training class or you work with other people that have very similar gear, you need to keep track of your own gear. For me, I know what I put my gear through. I don't know what other people do to their equipment. So it's imperative that you keep track of your own equipment. At the bare minimum, you need to number your magazines, and what that does is it will help keep track of any problematic magazines. So if you start to have certain malfunctions, ideally complex malfunctions, take note of what type of malfunction it was and what number magazine. If you need to, you can take a little paint pen and put a little tick mark on it. If you keep having that type of malfunction with that same magazine, chances are that magazine is the problem. You need to destroy the magazine and get rid of it. Alright, let's get into the actual technical inspection of the magazine. So for any magazine, aluminum, steel, or polymer, you can all do this the same. So push down the follower, and I'm looking at the feed lips, making sure that they are nice and straight. They're not bowed out. The next thing I do is I stick my fingers in the feed lips, and I'm pushing outwards on the magazine. I'm making sure that the spine is not cracked. So you can do that with polymer magazine. Stick your fingers in there and try to pull the magazine apart, make sure the spine is not cracked. Next thing I do is I need to make sure that the magazine is going to lock the bolt to the rear and also drop free. So we have an unloaded weapon here. When I insert the magazine, does it lock the bolt to the rear? Yep. And does it drop free? Absolutely. Let's go to the next one. Release the bolt, pull the charging handle, and does it drop the magazine? Yep. Let's do it one more time. Insert the magazine, pull the charging handle back. Does it lock the bolt to the rear? Absolutely. And does it drop free? So what that does is it helps ensure that the magazine is in spec. Now, the manner in which I did that, I don't do that. That was just for camera purpose only. And the last step that I do before live fire is I load up the magazine up to 15 to 20 rounds, and I do a strike test. So I hold the magazine in one hand and I strike the bottom of the magazine with the other. How hard do you strike the bottom magazine? Well, it's not lightly, and you're not smacking the absolute crap out of it, but a nice firm strike to the bottom. What you're ensuring is that the feed lips are retaining the rounds in the magazine. That will reduce any chances of you having complex malfunctions. So if you're carrying the magazine in a magazine pouch and you're bouncing around, or if you're running, making sure the rounds aren't popping out of the feed lips, or if the bolt's locked to the rear and you insert the magazine with the bolt locked to the rear, it will help ensure that live rounds aren't going to pop up into the upper receiver and cause a malfunction. Well, I hope this information helped. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the new subscribers for subscribing. I really appreciate it. For everyone else, make sure you like, subscribe, better yet share. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.